Welcome to Feed the Blender.
All right, welcome, fellas. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Blender. Episode what? 2.5.
2.5, 2.5.
Yeah, good to be here with everybody.
Yeah,
Game day, baby. Game day, baby.
Quite possibly the only episode that we'll all be together.
Probably, unless we. I mean, that's a wildly.
Yes, yeah.
That's an
We do have the
We don't have
after
travel
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That is true.
We have the USA game.
Yep.
So
Very true.
World Cup action. Just get right into it. Weird off episode here. We're just gonna talk about opening weekend for the NFL. Bear the fuck down, boys. Bear the fuck down. Opening up against San Fran, probably gonna be rough. I think the Bears are gonna win 24-20. I think Trey Lance looked really shaky in the offseason.
Yep.
He's obviously San Francisco's not the most confident in him with them extending Jimmy G to be the highest paid backup in the league. So as long as we can keep Debo under wraps and the O-line can hold up a little bit, I think we'll be okay and we'll upset here. So
Yeah, I also have the Bears beating the Giants. Giants. 49ers. Wrong San Francisco team. Yeah, like Zach said, I think Trey Lance has been pretty rocky. Some of the starts he had last year weren't, the best. And Justin Fields actually looked super solid in the preseason.
Yep.
Especially that last game.
Yep. He's reading through his progressions. And again, I think the new scheme is going to be huge. They're looking to get him out of the pocket. They're looking to go back to the old school, Bear football, focus on the scheme and defense and takeaways. And then it's already rumored that coaches are looking at Luke Getsy to be a head coach rather than just the offensive coordinator, which is wild after three preseason games. So I'm curious to see what they have in their bag and what they're going to show against San Francisco, because obviously in the preseason you're only getting a small taste of what the actual offensive scheme is. So I think it'll be sweet. Don't have a lot of hopes of the season. As long as they beat Detroit, as long as they have more wins than Detroit, I don't really give a shit how the year goes. So my guess is 8-9 on the year, which is probably egregious, but you know what? Bear down, Biggie.
Yeah, and I don't know if the 49ers will have a bad season, so to say. I just think week one, Bears catch them at the right time.
Yep.
I think it's probably a safe bet to say that the 49ers will have a better record at the end of the season. But again, it's week one. Guys haven't played together. Lance is probably going to be a bit shaky. Yeah, I just like the Bears in this matchup.
Yeah, I was talking to Seth last night. Shout out Seth. And we were just going over this matchup and stuff like that. And he was like, if Trey Lance doesn't start hot, Kittle and Debo and Bosa are gonna be in Shanahan's office and being all right, can we put in Handsome now? Yeah. Because this shit ain't working.
Jimmy G.
Yeah, Porn star Jimmy. Porn star Jimmy.
Kyle, what do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that San Francisco takes this fucking game all day.
You're just a hater.
I think they're gonna put up 30 on the Bears and just blow them out. I think Justin Fields in preseason is preseason. He can look as good as he wants. He's playing second stringers. He's playing dudes that aren't going to make the roster.
Yeah.
Same argument though. Is Trey Lance did the same thing, and he looked inaccurate and shaky. So I think if we can get, and they have a couple of younger dudes on their O line right now.
Yeah.
So I think if we can get out, we can at least confuse him at the line. He'll have an early turnover or two, and then that's a huge thing. Last year, we didn't create any turnovers at all, and we still somehow worked together winning 6 games. And we have an easier schedule this year than we did last year. So less talent, maybe, yes, but that talent that we lost this year didn't really play. Allen Robinson basically took a year off. Khalil Mack only played 6 games. Hicks was beat up all year. Those big pieces in air quotes, they didn't play last year, and we still worked together 6 wins in a dog shit scheme that wasn't going to work from the jump because Nagy wasn't willing to change. So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year. I think it'll be a really good step in the right direction, especially with us having 120+ million in cap space next year. So,
do you mind tilting the laptop just so you're in frame a bit more?
I don't want to be in frame, to be honest with you.
You're way too handsome.
All right. Green Bay.
Yep. Our next matchup, Green Bay versus Minnesota, a divisional matchup. What are we thinking on that, boys? Scott, you want to start it off?
Sure. It's gonna be interesting, and I think it's gonna set the pace for the year. How these young wide receivers come out. They have Aaron Rodgers, who will make you look good, so they need to return the favor and catch balls and score touchdowns and not be shaky.
Just catch the easy passes, you know what I mean? Just like executing, like you don't have to beat Devontae Adams, you don't have to like go up and like run your perfect route, but like you catch what's open to you.
We got dudes that are fast and
This is a fast
better with their hands than like MVS was last year.
Yeah.
He had bricks for hands.
He did.
So, I mean, it looks hopeful, but we'll find out, obviously. I mean, and then also against Minnesota, who is arguably one of the better teams in the division.
Yeah,
they were good last year. I mean,
they're
they're
probably
going to be hard this year too.
They're probably our real only competition in the division. I gotta say, just as someone who's watched Packer games my whole life, one thing that Rodgers does pretty much every season is he comes out super lethargic in week one.
We just don't need a repeat of last year.
And that's
just get
and that's
blown out.
what I'm getting at is I don't know if that receiving core is going to be ready. Rodgers is pretty notorious for skipping preseason workouts, skipping stuff that you kind of need to do to build a trust between quarterback and receivers. So
yeah.
But if you can move the ball a lot.
yeah, it's going to be a ton of runs and probably some pretty simple, fast routes for those guys, the young guys they brought in.
So we are leaving out the fact that we do have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, who are good.
Yeah, they're both gonna have really good years. I think like Aaron Jones is gonna be like whoever like picked him up in fantasy, like across like everyone, like I think he's gonna have a huge year because I mean, just to be honest, like I think he's gonna be Rodgers' like #1 target.
Yeah, he's probably going to catch a lot of passes on the backfield. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see several drops today. I think that's pretty realistic.
From the young core?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be shaky. Are they up? Are they?
No, they're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
It's going to get
in the
wild.
stadium, it'll be fine. It's probably better than playing your first game in the elements. It's raining in Wisconsin.
It's raining in Chicago
It's
too.
pouring in Chicago. Dude, Soldier Field is going to be.
I saw the graphic that them rolling the tarp up.
Yeah, because we just put in new grass like this week.
Right.
It needs the rain to grow, so consider that positive.
Yeah.
So unlike all of my fellow Packer fans, I actually have the Vikings by 3 in this game. I again, same kind of story as this Niners Chicago game. I think Green Bay will probably be the better team at the end of the year, but just week one, it just seems like Rodgers always comes out so sluggish and just disinterested.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you again. I'm going to say the Packers are going to win. I think they're going to set a better tone than they did last year because that was a terrible start, and I think they're not going to want to repeat that same action. And they'll come on and win by a touchdown.
Who you got?
I don't know. This is really tough. I honestly I think Minnesota is going to come out hot just because the fact is, I mean, in the past they've always been more run heavy than pass heavy, and I don't know who their like new offensive coordinator is and stuff like that, but like this team should be very like pass heavy offensively.
It'll be interesting to see the new schemes they're running. Yeah, comparative to what was it, Zimmer?
Mike Zimmer. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what they do. I know like Minnesota, they picked up Zadarius Smith from Green Bay last year, but like defensively, I don't know like who else
They're
have.
They're not a great defensive team.
Yeah.
Last year they relied a lot on Kirk Cousins' offense, which
And Justin Jefferson.
Well, yeah, Justin Jefferson's going to go out.
hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Cousins put up stupid numbers, but it just didn't translate to wins. I think part of that was defense.
I think they had a bunch of, I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, but they had a bunch of games where they lost by like a field goal or less. So I think, I mean, if they made that improvement offensively, who knows? So like maybe they'll just more so look to just beat you offensively and kind of like let you do whatever on the defensive end. Just be like, hey, we're just going to outgun you and see where we go. Kind of like how
They still do.
KC was and
Dalvin
Chargers
Cook.
were.
I think
Yes.
he's
How
a
the Packers were
running
for the
back.
longest time too.
Yeah, we're just going to score more points than you. We don't really care what happens on the defensive end. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be an interesting year for both of those teams. I would probably say Minnesota is Green Bay's biggest threat to lose
Yeah.
the division. So
Any more notes on this one?
I don't think so.
All right, move on to the next matchup. KC, Arizona. Is this the America's Game of the Week?
is it a 5:30 game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. It's the America's Game of the Week.
Is it the Packer game?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a really good year again, as he always does.
Yeah.
I do think that Juju's going to have a good year, just based off of like him still having like on top of like being kind of beat up last year, he still had pretty solid numbers
And
with like
horrible quarterback.
yeah,
I mean, Roethlisberger
eight-
couldn't throw the ball
yeah,
10 yards.
a dying Big Ben.
Yeah,
So I think he's going to have a really good year, which is like a lot of the things that I've seen in fantasy so far is like Juju Smith-Schuster is going to have a good year. Allen Robinson, despite his performance the other night, is going to have a good year. And then Jaron Judy's going to have a really good year as well from Denver. And that's all because all three of those players have a significant like improvement at the quarterback position from who they had to prior to.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see what they do. I mean, I know Tyreek Hill is super fast and he runs great routes and stuff like that.
It's a tough loss.
It is a tough loss, but like I just think it's so hard to say like that's like he's a true like number one receiver just like based off of his size.
I don't know if the argument's that he's a number one receiver. It's just as a target for a guy like Mahomes who creates a lot of plays on a scramble and a breakdown of a play. Tyreek Hill can get open just like, 10, 15 seconds into the play and is really, really good at seeing where Mahomes is rolling out and going to that side of the field to make it easy on Mahomes.
He's just such a threat.
Yeah, I just think it's still like I mean going back to like yes like they have a lot of history and stuff like that, but like I think it's naive to think that like yes he's like your number one receiver, but it's naive to think that like that he's Mahomes' number one target. Because I think that goes to Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I was going to say Kelsey's probably that guy.
Right. So it's just like, okay, like, again, all of the attention is still going to be on Travis Kelce. It's just whether or not Juju can, like, jump in and, like, fill that void of, like, I'm going to get open. I run good routes. I have good hands. And, I mean, he's shifted. Like, he was very good when.
He was really good.
He was really good when there was a true number, like, a true number one or a true number two. You know what I mean? Because, like, look at what he did. Like when Antonio Brown was there before all the CTE kicked in. Like,
that's what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's probably more stuff.
a little bit more to it. But like, I don't know. I think he'll have a good year. I hope Jaron Judy is a good year. I have him in fantasy,
Yeah.
so I'm hoping he comes out hot against Seattle. But
So what are we thinking in terms of outcomes of this game?
Where's it?
I think KC.
I believe it's in Arizona.
I still think KC wins. They're without D-Hop, so
That's right.
I mean, I can't remember the running back's name from Arizona. Everybody says he's really good, but like he just kind of puts up like slightly above average numbers. Like I don't know. And Kansas City wasn't bad defensively last year at all.
No.
And on top of that, like one more thing to add, like Kansas City's offensive line last year was really, really young. Like 3 out of the 5 guys were rookies or like sophomores more than anything. So with them all then having another year of playing together, I think they're going to be
Take another step
yeah,
forward.
they're going to be a huge
Which
threat.
he needs it. I mean, Mahomes got hit a lot last year.
Last year, and obviously as we saw when they lost to Tampa, the dude was running.
Yeah, he
was running for his life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Casey ain't going anywhere anytime soon. That's for sure.
I'll go KC by 7 on the road.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Kansas City by 21.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think it's. I'm pretty sure Mahomes is like in his career so far, he's like 12-0 in September or some shit like that. Like
I
he
wouldn't
hasn't
doubt
lost.
it. I would not doubt it. Yeah.
We were gonna go down there and put him beat down on Kyle Murray and his new contract.
I hope Cliff gets fired after the year. I'm just throwing that out there. You think Kansas City too?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Let's go with 10.
For 10?
They're on the road.
You split it down the middle, 7-21. Next matchup, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Chargers. Devontae Adams and Derek Carr's first game together. What do you think is going to happen?
Since college.
It's just crazy.
Where they go to school? Fresno State?
Yeah.
I think Derek Carr is gonna get lit up.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like,
chance.
Who's their two?
I mean, they do have the one Bosa, and they just have Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
So like he could be in
That
for-
offensive line better be
Yeah,
holding it down,
Buffalo.
otherwise he's gonna get rocked, and it's not gonna matter that they have Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
really curious
yeah.
to see like what Khalil Mack does this year, like being like his first year in like the new scheme and stuff like that. At least just with like transitioning teams, because like yes, like I mean he was they trade raped us with like how much like stuff that like we gave up. But I mean like the only really good year that he had on the Bears was 2018.
Wasn't that his first year in Chicago?
It was his first or his second.
Yeah, I believe
So-
it was his first. I mean, he came in and made an impact.
Oh,
right
100%. And I mean, we got him like in his prime. So it's just, I'll be curious to see. I mean, he's been pretty beat up like the last 2 years. If he stays healthy and like Bosa, I mean, this Bosa hasn't had the injury issues.
No, and he's been a manimal on that line. He gets after the quarterback like with speed that you rarely see from a guy that big.
Dude, him and his brother, it's like the Watts. Like,
Yeah, the Bosa
wow.
brothers.
Yeah.
Where are they finding these white boys at?
Yeah. So I don't know. That's gonna be a really interesting game. I don't even know if I can really like truly pick who I think is gonna win.
I think it's gonna be the Chargers.
I think the
I like the
Chargers.
Chargers too.
I think the Chargers will have a slight favorite. Are they playing in LA? Are they playing?
Oh yeah, it's in LA.
The Chargers are good.
They're-
Like,
they're
they're good
good.
offensively. They're good
Yeah.
defensively.
Like,
Like,
man, that dude is.
Yeah,
so
it'll
good.
just be it'll be really interesting. I think Vegas is going to be good. I will
Yeah.
say that they're probably going to be the 2 seed. In
These
that.
are both contenders. I mean, this is really one of the only matchups
Well, it's
that we've
crazy
gone
that-
through that
Yeah.
these teams could both very easily win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that like that entire division potentially
Competitive.
could have a playoff team.
That was
It's
like
with-
the
especially with like the new playoff structure.
Mhm.
Like all 4 teams do have like the chance of like making the playoffs, which would be wild. So like going into like these divisional games, you literally just have to go in and say like we have to go 500. Like we have to.
Yeah.
You have to split your games. Like
because
cut
they'll
your
clean
losses.
up on the rest of the NFL.
Uh-huh.
That
Oh,
those
yeah.
divisional games they're going to be tough.
Yep.
So Chargers,
I'll go Chargers.
another 3. Going down to our last matchup of the day, Tampa versus Dallas. See the mighty Dak Prescott in action in Dallas. What are we thinking about this game?
I have Dak Prescott in fantasy on one team and CeeDee Lamb on the other, so I hope
There you go.
they go off. I think Tony Pollard is going to take. He won't do it at the beginning of the season, but I definitely think he's going to take over majority of the touches from the running back position this year. I just think Zeke's old and fat at this point.
Zeke's, everyone's been saying this is the comeback year.
eating a little too much. That's all I have to say.
He's no Leonard Fournette. Put on 30 pounds this offseason.
That's all muscle.
I don't know. I don't know what you're selling, but I ain't buying it. That's for sure.
Gonna have to be the weight of probably carrying some of that offense.
Yeah.
Or a lot more of that offense with the
Leonard Fournette.
with
I mean,
Jesus, what's his name? Gronk.
biggest question mark though is what is
Oh.
Julio Jones going to do this year?
Yeah.
Because that's
Tennessee, he had an all right year in Tennessee last year,
just again. I mean, his biggest issue is he hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, with him,
which the
realis-
curse of the NFL. I mean, it's so hard for guys to stay healthy unless it's a quarterback. You're just
Right.
getting hit so often.
yeah. So they'll be fun to watch. I think because I mean, I would still say Mike Evans is the number 1.
Big time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Julio's
have to
number
be.
2. And then I don't know who they brought in to like fill the gap at tight end, but I mean, still got Tampa Tom. They're going to be competitive, that's for sure. I don't think the Saints. They made a lot of moves this offseason, but I don't think that they're better than Tampa.
Saints?
Yeah.
I actually would pick New Orleans to win that division.
You just have to rely on.
It's about if Winston stays healthy, that New Orleans team is probably the most talented team in that division. And with Sean Payton as the head coach.
He's not.
Oh, that's right.
He's not anymore. There are rumors that if Dallas has a bad year, McCarthy's going to get canned, and
Wow.
Sean Payton's going to go to
That
Dallas.
changes
That would be
everything.
very
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Not be
That's
good
what I forgot
for
about that.
football
That would
fans
not be good
just
for
like
fantasy.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Because that dude's a beast.
Yeah.
A genius, a football genius.
It's just whether or not Jerry Jones will be willing to do that because Jerry's a control freak and Sean Payton will tell him that.
Well, Sean Payton's white. Jerry Jones should like him.
So who we're taking in the game.
Jerry Jones like the spineless. He likes the spineless white man.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's the one
keep
you
you
can
down.
throw around.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Dallas just because I'm biased and I have them in fantasy
And at home too.
and at
Yeah, it's
home,
gonna
and
be
I think they're
rocking.
gonna be pissed that they lost the same style opener last year by a missed field goal. So like I think they'll end up winning by a touchdown.
I'll go Dallas as well. I just like Dak Prescott in week 1.
They can't win
All right,
All right.
let's see it.
by 14
Oh wow.
in Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Any
a
reason for, do you just think Tampa's that much better than Dallas? Or?
No, honestly, I don't think Tampa's better than Dallas. I just think they're going to go and win. I think, yeah. I thought I saw a statistic that Tom was like pretty lights out against Dallas, and just in general, I think he's 6-0 or something like that.
Yep, he hasn't lost. He's 6-0 against Dallas. I looked up the stat the other day. He hasn't lost in his career. He hasn't lost to Dallas or New England, Tampa, and Minnesota.
Yeah.
Why?
And
Wow.
also, the Cowboys will not be winning the Super Bowl.
That's
Whoever thinks
nice.
that can go fuck themselves.
AFC's too good. I don't think an NFC team will win the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, maybe the Packers, but who knows? Just put that out there early.
Doubtful. All right, boys. I think that concludes like what we had planned here. A little quick
Yeah,
30-minute.
yeah,
video,
that was
right?
good. I have 2 trivia questions.
Oh shit, that's right.
For NFL opening Sunday. I think you'll particularly like this first one, Zach. What NFL franchise has never had a quarterback throw over 4,000 yards in the air? And then
Obvious.
second question, what NFL franchise has gone on 2 separate 30-year playoff win droughts?
That's tough.
Trying to think about a historically bad franchise.
Would be the
I would say-
Lions.
Correct.
And
It's that.
oh,
It's only one.
It's only one.
I thought you said 2.
Yeah, 2 separate 30-year
Oh, 2
droughts.
separate. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Got it.
Detroit's got it rough. We feel bad because we beat on them every year. But
Sure do.
all right,
Maybe the shitter of the division.
All right, boys.
boys, cheers. Yeah,
Happy
good to
Sunday.
see you guys.
Yeah, welcome.
Go Pack.
Bear down.
We'll see you next week for the Southeastern Division breakdown. All right.